Tech Garage, presented by RockAuto.com, is brought to you by AP Laser, leading the way, and by RockAuto.com, all the parts your car will ever need. This is Tech Garage, presented by RockAuto.com, and it's always a pleasure when Tom Taylor joins us from Rock Auto. And Tom, we've got a Chevy Impala here at Tech Garage, but it's not just any Impala, it's a police cruiser. So what are some things that might be different on a police cruiser versus an Impala that you and I would just buy as a family vehicle?
Well, they might have upgraded the suspension, different control arms, upgraded the brakes, bigger brake rotors, different brake pad material, upgraded the radiator, the cooling system. There might be a different power steering system because police cars sit and idle a lot, and so the power steering system doesn't overheat. So those are some things.
Makes a lot of sense. Now, how can I discern between what might be a part for a police package vehicle and non-police package?
But in the part description, it'll say with police package or without police package. Then you can look at if you're not sure, was my car a police car or not, and maybe it's been through several owners, you can look at the images of the part, see if that matches, and then they may still look similar. You go to the info page and we'll actually have dimensions that you can compare, like the control arms for that Impala are 6 inches different if it's police or not police, so you can get your measuring tape and say confirm which part you need.
So you know, if something is shaped completely differently, the picture will help you out there.
Right.
And you can also look and see different parts that maybe other folks are ordering as well. What delineates that? Right,
we have little heart icons that show the parts that have been ordered most frequently by our customers with the same car and returned the least frequently. That may not help so much with the police versus not police because there'd be a lot more civilian versions versus police versions. So those will get more hearts. But.
Makes a lot of sense here. We're looking at some of the suspension parts here that RockAuto.com had for the Impala. Here, not really a suspension part, but here we're looking at bushings or body mounts right there. Kind of part of the suspension system, but we found it under body on RockAuto.com.
Yeah, that'd be under body. And yeah, we have control arm bushings. And you saw in the box here, a lot of these parts, the manufacturer Moog has the problem solver.
Yeah, it says here on this box, it says, overbuilt for durability. So that's tougher than the OEM part right there, right?
Right. Yeah, the aftermarket manufacturers or the OEM manufacturers will later discover, hey, we could have done this different materials, resist corrosion better, resist damage to oil damage to the bushing, and the replacement part will be better than the original was.
RockAuto.com has all the parts your car will ever need, and sometimes parts that are even better than the original. Well, John Gardner's over there at Garage Ed. If you didn't learn enough here, you can learn a little more over with John.
Well, folks, this is Garage Ed, and it's been all about the air conditioning system this season. And this segment, well, it's about the accumulator and the receiver dryer. Now, Josh, a big misconception is accumulator and receiver dryer, well, they're the same component. They kind of are similar. They do the same thing, but they are not the same, are they?
Well, they do two different things. They're at two different ends of the system. Let's just go to the graphic and we'll talk about it, okay? So with the accumulator, its entire purpose is to actually keep liquid refrigerant out of the compressor. You don't want liquid refrigerant in the compressor or it's going to screw it up. Down at the bottom is where the oil goes in. Actually, liquid refrigerant is actually lighter than the oil, so it hangs out above it. And as it sits there, it boils off in the engine compartment, ensuring that when it boils off, it enters at the top of the tube and goes all the way back to the compressor as a gas.
Now you got one there cutaway in true Tech Garage fashion, man. What's on the graphics is actually right here, so point those points out to us.
Right, so right here you can see this little U pipe right here, and at the bottom is a screen. The oil hangs down here at the bottom and it gets filtered out through the screen. Once the oil is filtered out through the screen, it actually goes back to the compressor and helps lubricate the compressor. Up above it is where the liquid refrigerant sits as it kind of boils off, enters at the top of the pipe, and that ensures that the gas goes straight to the compressor.
Now you got one more part in there. It's important to dry the refrigerant, isn't it?
That's right. So inside here is also a desiccant. There's some silica gel, silica beads in here. Now I say drying out the refrigerant, that's not talking about taking liquid refrigerant and drying it out. We're getting the moisture out of there. We're getting the H2O out of it.
Yeah, you know, and that's different than the receiver dryer. Look at the graphic on the receiver dryer. That's in the liquid line. The accumulator's in the gas line. So liquid's actually coming in and it's coming down, It's going through the desiccant. Yes, it's drying it just like the accumulator is, but it's liquid. So by the time it gets down there, if there's any gas or residual gas, it has to turn to a liquid before it goes into the system and keeps it running precise.
That's right.
So if you have those systems, you're either going to have an orifice tube with the accumulator or a TXV or an H-block with your receiver dryer, gas and liquid, two different components. Now you may have one built in right here to the condenser, does the same thing. It's a receiver dryer, it's in the liquid line, just a different look at it. Now Josh, I'll tell you what, Dave's fixing to drift that cop car. He fixed it right. Once these things work, your system's working right, I'm getting out of here.
Got to go.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Wait for me, man! Oh, you are not drifting without me, Dave.
I'm not drifting with you. This is actually to teach folks from saving a spin here. Watch this. If we do some with power, check this out. Check it out.
Oh, boy. Oh, one more time, Dave.
There's no recovering from that one.
Too cool, man. Let me see that
one more
baby.
time.
Oh! Whoa, 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 this is not the Mad Hatter. Dave, I'll tell you what, man, that was so much fun. We're out of time for today, but make sure you join us next week for more Tech Garage, brought to you by RockAuto.com. Stop this thing. Stop this thing.
Where's the ejection seat?
I'm out of here. Oh.
We could not do Tech Garage without production assistance from Chipola College in Marianna, Florida. Chipola was founded in 1947, and it was recently ranked among the top 3 community colleges in the United States.